So, Channel 4 turned me into a shark. Yeah. No, that is not a clickbait. How do I bridge this one? So, I'm going to take your mind back to 3 months ago, roughly, YouTube chat. I was checking my emails, as I often do, being a professional streamer like I am. And I had an email from a casting agent from Channel 4 that just was like, hey Tim, I'm working on a new show which is called Face Your Fears, and we're looking for people to come on Channel 4's Snapchat, and we're going to transform them into the thing that they are most afraid of to help them face their worst fear. Initially, admittedly, I thought they meant, like, face your fears in terms of, oh, if you're scared of sharks, which is what I said I was scared of, we'll put you in a cage diving experience. We're going to send you out to the Bahamas to encounter some great white sharks. There was maybe an element of strategy with what I said I was afraid of with this. I am scared of sharks, but I also like the idea of going on a all expenses paid holiday. Then I kind of fully read the small print of the email, and it was like, yeah, we're going to turn you into a shark using prosthetics. And this is what happened. I went through a little Zoom call with one of the producers working on the show, having been passed on from the researcher, talked about being afraid of sharks, which I really am. I really have had some weird moments since I saw the Jaws movie, which is one of my favourite movies, actually. It's here on DVD. And I said this to Channel 4. They like the sound of it. They like the sound of the fear. And we're like, let's traumatise this kid. Let's turn him into a shark. So, yeah, I travelled up to Leeds. I did a day's filming with Channel 4. And the show has come out. My transformation into a shark is now on the Snapchat page for Face Your Fears, and I wanted to react to it on this channel. So let's get right into the news. Philip DeFranco stands. The really cool thing here is AXEL, who was working with me on this shoot, is a guy who was on this season of Glow Up. And Glow Up is a really cool show which started on BBC Three. It's kind of like an X Factor style show, but for makeup artists. And I'd known the show before. I watched the first season with my ex. I didn't know AXEL, who was on this season, was going to be working on it. And now the show's on Netflix as well. And having something that's way bigger than you, way faster than you, way stronger than you. In terms of how scared I am of sharks, I would say it's closer to a 10.
So basically,
this is probably accurate. Well, the cool thing about this, the order of everything, we went into the shoot, and I went into like a green room, and then the producer Neil, who's a lovely guy, and the runners sort of greeted me, said hey. And I waited around for a bit. I met Marvin. I think his name was Marvin. Who was the guy before me, really cool guy. They turned Marvin into a rat. So I was chatting to him about his transformation. He showed me some photos. And then Kiara, who was like in the makeup before me, in clown makeup, sort of came through. And I chatted to her for like 30 seconds pretty much before she dipped. And then they took me aside to do these like headshots before I had the makeup applied, talking about why I was afraid of sharks and a bit of my experience. And I think the big thing that struck me was how similar the Channel 4 digital setup is to what you'd expect like an influencer setup to be these days. I think because technology has got so much more advanced in the recent years, and you know, obviously cost of living, a lot of these bigger companies like Channel 4, the traditional media companies, they want to save money too. So actually a lot of the time it will just be kind of standard lighting rigs, and I don't think they were actually filming on iPhones anywhere, but it was clearly set up in a way where you could do that as well. And yeah, so here's AXEL with me, and you can see that he's sketched out a look for me, because I'd sent my like headshots to Channel 4 before. I say headshots like I have headshots, like I'm a model. I'm not a model, obviously. And I don't have professional headshots. I took some photos of myself, sent them to them, and AXEL actually designed the whole look based on the shape of my face, which I think was a very cool little feature here.
Created this jaw prosthetic / mouth prosthetic and this fin prosthetic to go in your wee noggin.
So you can see my wee noggin. AXEL is Scottish, as all the greatest people are. Shout out David Tennant, loving the Star Beast, new Doctor Who. And yeah, like this sketch is incredible. I didn't see this. I literally didn't see this until the finished video came out. And the prosthetic fin, it's amazing. Like, what I love about it is, you can see that it's me. Like, if you look at the kind of, if I turn this way especially, that is the shape of my face. I look kind of cool. I look like a superhero. I look kind of like a skinnier version of King Shark from Suicide Squad, I think. And yeah, I just think this is like a part that you wouldn't normally appreciate with a makeup artist, the actual conceptual stage. AXEL is amazing at sketching and drawing concepts as well as like applying the practical effects.
Building up the layers with texture to make you look more like a shark.
Exposure therapy can be very...
I never met this woman. She is, I guess, some kind of therapist or psychotherapist that they brought in to kind of explain the concept of the show. I mean, I'll let her explain the concept.
Very creative. People getting transformed into their biggest fear can be a safe and effective way to confront the fear without any real danger. Galleophobia is the fear of sharks, and this can often develop due to traumatic experiences or seeing scary movies.
A shark killed my family when I was younger. And you can see the first glimpse of what is starting to be the final look at the bottom there.
It's the idea of being in the water and having something that's way bigger than you, way faster than you, way stronger than you. In terms of how scared I am of sharks, I would say it's closer to a 10.
I'm really happy with how I come across on camera, because I do this all the time. Like, I'm so used to being on camera, I'm so used to chatting on stream, but when you're in a studio setup, it's a very different dynamic, and I'm pleased. Like, I think I look very relaxed and very calm. I think I'm kind of articulate. I think my voice sounds good. I'm not speaking too fast. Please hire me to do more TV work. Yeah, timsennamedia@gmail.com. It's in the post. Get me to do a music show, Channel 4. Just look. It needs to happen. Manifest. I was such a mess when I was coming to this shoot. Like, obviously, I'm wearing a bald cap. Side note, I've just noticed. Like, I knew I was wearing a bald cap at the time. It's weird. You can see my ear through it. That's gross. This experience, like, Channel 4 really treated me well. Like, they paid me to do the shoot. They paid for my travel. They paid for my food. They booked a train for me, and like, I was very close to missing it. I just stayed in bed too long, and I like rolled out of bed. I was planning to shave in the morning, but I didn't have time, and I wish I had, because obviously there's really good lighting, really good cameras. So just the gross kind of stubble I had. I know no one else is probably like analyzing the way I look that much, but I was just, when I saw it, I was like, oh. I think I look fine in some shots, and others I'm just like, I look so messy. Like, I've just rolled out of bed. I like the jacket I was wearing though, at least. It's funny, I can't remember. I've been like obsessed with sharks for a long time. I've actually got a shark wristband, and I always think like obsession and fear, it's like two sides of the same coin. So the thing is, I love sharks. I follow Sharks Trust on Instagram and Twitter, which is like a agency for protecting sharks, because obviously they're much maligned from films like Jaws. People want to hunt them. They think they're out there to eat people. They're not out there to eat people. I did try and say that on camera while we were filming, but obviously this is a 3-minute video, so there's like not a lot of time to fit everything in. I was throwing in some shark facts which didn't make the cut, but it's fine. But I guess the big thing I was worried about was that people would be like, oh, this guy's afraid of sharks, so he thinks they're like killing machines, when I know they're not. There's some great footage of Ron and Valerie Taylor, who are the people who filmed the Jaws film, and they went into like shark conservation and shark filmmaking more in a documentary sense after the Jaws movie. I mean, I think even before they filmed live sharks for the film Jaws, they were more involved in the nature documentary side of things. And there's some amazing footage of them hand feeding a great white shark like it's a puppy. And you can kind of see with the shark's body language in that moment, there is so much intelligence, so much playfulness, and so many sides to sharks that are never really portrayed by a lot of shark-related media, especially Shark Week, which just seemed to focus on like the great white man-eater kind of angle, which is just such a kind of reductive and one-dimensional view of really beautiful, sophisticated creatures.
When did you first discover that you were terrified of sharks?
I feel like it's ever since I first watched the Jaws film. I had this long-standing...
was wearing my Alison Hammond t-shirt. Couldn't really make it out on the camera. Thought it would be a cute little Easter egg, but maybe if you're very eagle-eyed, you can see that I am wearing an Alison Hammond t-shirt.
Captivation and terror at the hands of sharks, which is ironic because they don't have hands.
Good line. I love that.
And then when I started to go...
Oh, who was it? I emailed Neil to ask who edited. Let me check my email so I can confirm this. Kinder was the person's name. Kinder, who shot and edited Kinder, was very nice. I hope I'm saying their name right.
I had this fear in the back of my mind, like an intrusive thought. You know, what if a shark just comes out right now and grabs me?
That shot, I love that shot as a video editor myself, because I edit my own videos and I have done for ages, like since I started like 10 years ago. I just appreciate when I see a good edit and I look at an effect, I'm like, that must have taken a good amount of time to do, because you've got to kind of obviously trace around the shark, you got the ocean background, and then you've got the moving, or it was a picture of me, to be fair. He'd sketched on a picture of me, and then you've got to kind of have the transition of me fading out as the shark comes up to eat me. I don't know, it was a nice edit. Nice one, Kinder.
Grab you.
You know, I have the same thing, but with seaweed.
We only go on holiday, me and my family, in the UK. So this shark...
Side note, AXEL was really cool. AXEL was really friendly, and I loved the kind of... We were bouncing off each other quite well. I did also interview AXEL. I was going to put it in this YouTube video. I think it might be a bit... it might not exactly fit in the context. Or it might work well. So if you're watching this, it means that I haven't included it in the edit. If you want to see my interview with AXEL, comment, chat.
Phobia follows me to the coasts of Cornwall, all of the places that a great white shark would never be seen.
I love this for several reasons. I love what Kinder has done here with the edit, just to kind of like, I'm there like, oh, there wouldn't be a shark in the water there, and then he just has the clipping of when there was a shark spotted off Cornwall. The other thing I love about this is there are loads of different episodes, as you can see on this page for the show Face Your Fears, and what Kinder's done is he's made this fake mock-up newspaper with a side thing of like Loch Ness Monster revealed to be a humanoid prawn. Like right here, that is Alex, who is the first person who appeared on this series. He's scared of prawns. It's a crazy look that AXEL designed, and it was like a really good episode. So make sure you watch back. And also there's someone else who I didn't know of or meet who was turned into a spider. Mystic Arachnid is here to see your dreams. I love this because it's almost like a little bit of world building, and it shows that like when Kinder was editing this, they were just really loving what they were doing. I know I love that attention to detail, because it's only on the screen for like 3 or 4 seconds, but obviously because this is my episode, I was pausing it, and I just think that's such a nice detail that a lot of people are not going to notice, but it makes the show, like, it breathes some life into it, and I think that's a really cool kind of touch that didn't need to be included.
Those are the places that I'm having these phobia attacks in the water. I'm not sure I'm ready. The moment I saw the jaws, the kind of idea that I'm actually going to look really scary has built on me. The first thing I would do if I was cured of this phobia, actually, I'd just go and swim in the sea as far out as I could, and then probably I'd get attacked by a shark, just to have a bit of irony in there.
I loved the word irony, which I didn't realise when I was filming this, and the inner Dan Howell fanboy in me came out for the first time in quite a few years, I think. If you watch back my old YouTube videos, I am basically just trying to be Dan Is Not On Fire so much, but since I've done radio, since I've kind of pivoted and spent more time developing myself as a presenter, I think the kind of the Dan in me is way less pronounced. But then watching this, I think for whatever reason that kind of awkward Dan energy comes back out, which I think is really sweet, because Dan very much is the reason I started doing any media stuff. I look terrifying.
Okay, Tim,
AXEL.
how are you feeling?
I'm nervous. I'm nervous for both of us, because the amount of like love and energy and sweat.
Yeah, it was 2.5 hours, and I think it's really hard to convey that. We had a time lapse earlier in this video, but in a video this short, you're never going to get the sense of like how long I was sitting in a chair for. The time where the runners were like, we had a playlist on in the background, they got me coffee, they got me tea. It got to a point where I couldn't drink my coffee because I had prosthetic jaws in the way. It was a long day, but and then obviously after the shoot, Rue and Saf, who were 2 other glow up contestants, Saf actually won the whole thing. She was there like helping AXEL, and she applied some finishing touches to the makeup before the reveal. And at the end of the day, it was Rue and Saf who helped take the prosthetic off, because obviously you can't just send me out onto the streets of Leeds looking like that. Like, oh god, I'd probably get arrested. This was before Halloween that we shot it. Also, I imagine it's probably expensive prosthetics. Like I don't know if they recycle them, but yeah, I wouldn't want to get on a train looking like that. I'd be scared.
That went into
I'd be
this.
scared.
Are you ready to face your fears?
I am ready to face my fears.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my god, that is
Sim
ridiculous.
I think you can't feel like how much of your face is being covered when you're in the makeup chair. But I was not expecting this whole smooth head. Like
this is true. Oh, there's me.
The texture is amazing.
Transition. The big thing that surprised me is that obviously you can feel kind of like brushes and things, and I knew the bald cap was being put on, but I think I expected it to be like kind of my face with shark features added. When I looked into the mirror, I was like, that's not me. That is, yeah. I can't really describe the feeling I had in that moment. Obviously, it's great that it's filmed. We did 2 takes. We did 2 takes of the reveal, and obviously one of them was fake on my part in terms of pretending it was the first time I saw it. I can't actually remember which take is the one they included. I think that's the first take because I looked genuinely surprised there, and I remember trying to act a little bit of the second one, be like, oh wow, I look like this. I had no idea, and I'm not a good actor. Those jaws, it's kind of like Pennywise from It, just protruding out. That's
it's pretty monstrous.
Pretty monstrous.
Maybe it's making me more afraid of sharks, but it's incredible. It feels very surreal. Obviously, I can't, look past the teeth.
They took great joy in walking me past the people who were working in the office late, looking like that. They absolutely loved that.
So if I encountered myself on land looking like this, that'd be a straight 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd make myself
whether I was in
more
a
afraid.
club or trick or treat.
Look at me. This is fucking trauma, nightmare fuel, nightmare blunt rotation. I do find it funny. Like, I understand it's like when you're pitching a show, you've got to have a concept, but I don't know where the concept of making you look like something you'd be afraid of is going to make you less afraid of it. Like, I cannot fathom that concept.
Treating or anywhere like that, I think it would be instant trauma.
I don't look anything like an actual shark.
If I was in the water,
I look like a kind of monster clone, Doctor Who kind of / Suicide Squad abomination.
And something that looked like
I
this
do look a bit like an ood that's had a really bad day.
this popped up at me, that'd be like a 15 out of 10.
15 out
Never
of 10.
swimming again.
Worse. And there you go. That's the transition. Facial fears fail. I love the way they're like, oh no, damn, we didn't manage to cure his fear of sharks. Who'd have seen that coming? So there you go. Yeah, Channel 4 turned me into a great white shark. Just big love to everyone who worked on this. And if you want to see more Tim Senna on TV, just tweet Channel 4, E4, everyone. Be like, yo, get this Twitch kid on stream, on channel, on TV. I think I was born for the glitz and the glamour, the bright lights. I started with radio, TV, baby. It's on the way. And if you found this video because you happen to see me on the show and you like my vibe and what I'm doing, then yeah, give me a follow on Twitch. Link is in the bio. Again, also I've put the full video for this show in the bio. You can watch all of these other episodes, which are amazing, and I really recommend you do, because a lot of love and care went into this this transform thing on Snapchat, and you can watch it on web browser if you don't have the app as well. What else can I say? Being a shark for an afternoon was an unforgettable experience. Big love, guys. I'll see you in the next video.